Hello, hello. I'm so excited to share one of my new friends, Jacquelyn Jones, with you today. I met her very serendipitously. I was planning a retreat with my friend Lisa in Kentucky, and we are doing a lot of work around women over 40. And knowing food is such a big thing for women, I've experienced this myself going through menopause and how food just does not work the same way as it did in my 20s. I found her through some Google searches. And since then, we've met in person. She brought her friends over, and now she's part of the retreat on April 30th. So, Jacquelyn, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Your story is amazing. It's amazing. It actually made me go back and revisit a book I bought years ago by Joe Dispenza. So I've really been going down that path since we met. But tell us a little bit about, let's talk about what you do right now. Let's just start with where you are and then we'll back up.
Okay, sure. Right now, I have a organic vegan meal prep and health coaching business in Perrysburg, Ohio. So I, basically just do all ready to go meals for you. You order by Friday, you come pick up at the kitchen on Tuesday. Again, everything is organic, plant-based, and just really, really, really healthy. And with that, you can get some health coaching services paired with that. I have a lot of people who are sick, not doing well, and just need a little bit more guidance than just the meals. So I do offer that. I'm also doing pop-up dinners once a month and wellness retreats, either as a guest chef in this case, or I also host my own.
That's fantastic. And as we talked about, obviously everybody always wants to eat healthier. That just seems to be a general theme that I hear, but we're so busy, things get in the way. So what was your catalyst that really sort of put you into this food is medicine business?
Right. Well, it's so funny because I feel like I love how everyone is all about being healthy right now. I love that it's trending. It's trending to be vegan. It's trending to be plant-based. I hope this trend lasts forever because it is so necessary. I love that a lot of doctors are starting to get on board with the plant-based movement. This is not a diet. This is a complete lifestyle. It is a lifestyle change. So I just want to say, starting off, that I am so glad to see that it has now become kind of the focus of health. And it's in the forefront of how to live a healthy life is eating a plant-based diet. But back when I started about 8 years ago, I didn't know anything about food as medicine. I didn't really know. I just knew, you shouldn't eat greasy foods and things like that. But I didn't realize that, eating, a meat heavy diet, I'm from the Midwest, but I have lived in California for 15 years. And, I'm a meat and potatoes girl. I was like, sausage for breakfast, chicken, red meat, all of that. And dairy, I had no idea that these things were causing inflammation. So, I was a wardrobe stylist, celebrity wardrobe stylist out there, and I would work very long hours and be hauling around all of these heavy gowns and suitcases full of clothes. And I had back issues. And I really thought it was because of my job. And I would keep going to doctors. And, because I do have scoliosis, the doctors would just keep telling me, you have a herniated disc, you're going to be fine. And they would just load me up on drugs. So, I was on muscle relaxers and painkillers. I was getting injections, having to go in every once in a while and get injections in my back, steroids, and all of these medications, of course, were wreaking havoc on my gut health. And I didn't know anything about gut health and dysbiosis. I knew nothing about anything at this point. And I just I trusted my doctors, and I kept taking the medications, and it caused a huge hormonal imbalance. I've always been roughly 120 pounds my entire life. I all of a sudden was pushing 160. And I feel like this happened almost overnight. It was just like every single month I was gaining and gaining and gaining. Started losing my hair, losing my eyebrows, my eyelashes. I was just an absolute mess, and I wasn't getting any better. I wasn't feeling better. I was feeling worse. And that's when I was diagnosed with ankylosing spondylitis. Finally, I landed in the emergency room. The doctor was like, this is not this is not a herniated disc, something else is going on here. And he recommended a rheumatologist, and that's when she diagnosed me with ankylosing spondylitis. She then put me on a biologic, and within just 2 weeks of injecting the biologic, I had a severe reaction to it, allergic reaction. I lost my memory. Everything got a million times worse. And so she said my next step was low dose chemotherapy. And I was like, I'm 35 years old. I'm not going to start chemo. Like, there has to be another option. And I started looking into food. My friend was telling me, again, I knew nothing about this. She was like, you know, in India, they use a lot of like turmeric and all of these herbs and spices to heal the body. I was like, really? Did a little Google search and was like, okay, I see a plant-based diet. Going vegan like helps, you know, get rid of inflammation. And, you know, inflammation is the root cause of all disease. It's the root cause of heart disease, cancers, autoimmune. It's the root cause of all disease. So what we need to do is make sure we have proper gut health, because 80% of our immune system resides in our gut. Proper gut health in order to have our system be in balance, let it feed the cells everything that it needs, so we can keep the inflammation low in our body to prevent disease. So after finding all of this out, I went back to my doctor and told her, I'm going to skip the chemo. Give me 30 days. I'm going to try a plant-based diet. Let's see if I can do it. So I did. And within 30 days, I always get choked up when I tell this because I still can't believe I did this. Within 30 days, I completely lowered my inflammation. Within 3 months, I balanced my hormones. And with 6 months, I was completely pain-free. I was off all medications. I didn't have to see a doctor anymore. I could actually move, so I could do yoga. I could go on hikes. Because prior to that, I was frozen stiff in an L shape. I, was dependent on a cane to move around the house. If I left the house, I had to be put in a wheelchair. I needed, help taking a shower, getting dressed. I was completely dependent on someone to help me move, to function. And here, fast forward to just taking all of the junk out of the diet, all of the inflammatory foods and the meat and the dairy, and eating all whole food, plant-based diet, I was pain-free for the first time in years. I started with pain with my scoliosis when I was 15. I was 35 when I discovered what it felt like to live without pain. It was,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow. I mean, first of all, 35, you're on your own, you're in LA, the doctors are telling you to do this, and your one friend told you, oh, you should do plant-based diet or use some turmeric. How does this transpire? Because I feel like you're at a vulnerable age, you're by yourself, you're in a big city. What told you, outside of a friend just mentioning it? What was there, like a gut feel, a whisper? Did you read a book? What really made you say, listen, I am going plant-free and doing it? Because it is so hard to be plant-free. Plant-free. It's so hard to be a plant-based diet.
Right. I didn't know. Honestly, it was the chemotherapy for me, doing low dose chemotherapy and taking that medication. And I was like, this can't be it. And so once I, started doing some research on a plant-based diet, I decided to go back to school for this. And through my training and certification, I came across amazing healers like Joe Dispenza that you and I have talked about and connected on. And I came across so many different healers, and his story really hit home, how he was paralyzed and they said, you're never going to walk again. And through the power of meditation and visualization and diet change, he's not only walking and thriving, but he has built such a huge helping, healing business. And and that really inspired me. And I was like, I have to teach people. Maybe that's my whole point, that why I'm here. Unfortunately, I had to go through and live with this autoimmune disease, but now I stopped wardrobe styling. I got my certification, and I just started a practice where I would teach. I started doing Facebook Live videos, cooking classes. I'm like, look, guys, you can eat vegan, and it's not, just wheatgrass and sprouts. People are so, that stigma of like, oh, it's rabbit food. It's like, no, I took everything I loved to eat as a meat eater, and just, how can I veganize this? And I just veganized everything that I loved. And it was really actually quite delicious. I'm like, I can't believe this, these mushrooms actually give me a steak feel. And it was a lot of experimenting. I had a lot of recipes in the beginning that weren't good. But then you learn not to use, coconut oil if you're doing something savory, because it gives it a coconut flavor. It's figuring things out. And then, put together some programs, some recipe books, and, just started doing that, and teaching everyone everything I knew. Got really heavily. So after I changed my diet, it's weird what happens when you stop eating meat and like the animal products. The mental clarity you have, it's really hard to explain. It was something I've never experienced before. It was a really awesome feeling. And I was like, okay, I used to do yoga because, like, ooh, you go and you do yoga. It's just what you do. But yoga itself, it's not just an exercise. That is an entire lifestyle, what yoga represents, and, what it does for the mind and the body connection. And that mind, body, and I say belly connection is so important, because your gut and your brain are connected via the vagus nerve. So you have to nourish them both properly. And yoga and meditation is a huge part of that. So once I started incorporating that into this plant-based lifestyle, my whole world just went completely upside down. And I was a totally different person, for the better. And it was absolutely life-changing. And so now that's what my mission is. I just want to feed people really delicious, amazing food, and teach them about yoga, meditation, and eating right, and why all three of them matter. And your gut health is the most important thing on this planet. Your gut health supports your mental health, your physical health, everything.
I love that. And I feel like that's when we talked for such a short time, I was like, yes, this is the other piece of it, because women over 40, for me, that's what the retreat and the gathering is for. Obviously, women of any age can attend, but the idea is our bodies change so much in like 24 to 36 months. And we experience so much inflammation, we experience so much pain. And, initially I was bringing Lisa up, which she's going to be joining us, as she's a menopause doula, and she really talks about movement and mind and body and all of that. But I feel like you can't do those things without talking about food. And I'm so excited you're joining us, because I think your story is so powerful. And I too believe that it is really the catalyst to push you into your life's work, which you're doing now. And there's just not enough people talking about this. There's people talking about organic food and healthy food, but not necessarily food as medicine. And I wholeheartedly believe that our food can be our medicine. And I know that you obviously live that. So do you get a lot of people that are going through transformations?
I do. I have a lot of people come to me. I'm in my 40s now, and my friends are, in their 40s or turning 40 and starting to have, hormonal imbalances. And, it's that freak out moment of, what do I do? Oh my gosh, and it's like, well, you can eat for your hormones, you can eat to balance your body. It's just knowing the right foods to eat and what you need to kind of alter and stop eating. And, a lot of people just going through that, I want to start eating better. I don't know where to begin. This is so hard. And it's like, it's not hard. That's why I have so many people order meal prep, and they love it. And I'm cooking for them because, like you had mentioned, time, no one has time anymore, with their kids being in all these sports and all of these things. It's like, these kids have more of an active calendar than I do. And I'm like, I don't know how these parents do it and how they feed and nourish themselves and the family. So I get a lot of people who do order meal prep for that. But then I tell them, I can't cook for you forever. I have to teach you how to do this for yourself. And it's really not that difficult. It just takes a little bit of planning and a little bit of prep work, but it's so worth it in the long run. It's so worth it. So even the healthiest of people, it's like, you still need to be eating this way. It's preventative care, because, if you don't start, like I didn't know anything about it. And it took being, completely crippled and being diagnosed with an autoimmune disease to change my life. It took my dad having having a heart attack and a triple bypass for him to get off meat, you know, and it took my other friend being diagnosed with a condition to be like, I guess I have to change my diet and my lifestyle. It's like, don't wait until that point. Be preventative about it. Start taking care of yourself now so these things don't happen to you, because the likelihood of them happening are very, very, very high.
Isn't that the truth? Well, I hope that you come and join us, everyone who's listening, in Vermilion on April 30th. We're going to be there in person talking about this, answering questions. But even better than that, we're going to be experiencing your food, which I'm super excited about, because I would say 80% of the time I am vegan, and I'm getting there. I'm still working to my 100%, but I'm always looking for new ways. But I think the education is so important. So for people who can't join us in person, what do you do online? Do you have classes online? Or are there things you do on Instagram or other platforms that people can follow you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Soul Food Collective, and it's SOL, soul like the sun. Our third chakra, our solar plexus, that's kind of where I got the name. That's where we metabolize life, food, you know, life energy. So Soul Food Like the Sun Collective. You can go to soulfoodcollective.com. I have lots of things going on, lots of events. Your event on the 30th, I'm so excited for that. That's going to be so amazing, and just other things going on. So yeah, you can contact me there and follow me on social.
And I love it. I always watch your posts. I love to see what you're creating for the week. You post so many beautiful pictures of food, and you use food that oftentimes I pass by in the grocery store because I don't know what to do with it.
Mhm.
So I love that. And so I'm really excited to spend that time with you. So hopefully you'll go visit Jacquelyn at Soul Food, SOL Food, and we'll conclude the links. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for inspiring me already. We've only known each other a short time, and I'm already reading books because of you, and I'm following your Instagram page. And I feel like you're such an inspiration and really such a light for so many people that feel desperate to feel better, but they just don't know how to get started.
Yes. Yep. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
thank you. Have a great day.
Okay, you too.